All right. What's up, guys? Let me get my phone here in the cradle. All right. What's up, guys? So, thank you for tuning in to Parrish News Network. My name's Dalton. I'm the owner of Parrish News Network. I'm not an environmental activist. I'm not a citizen journalist. That's what a lot of people call me. I'm not any of that stuff. I'm here to talk to you guys today about everything that's been going on. Bring some things to some people's attention. um, just try and get the word out on everything that's going on and trying to keep Manatee clean and keep Manatee County, Florida, ultimately a place where, things like what's around me right now that you guys can see is still available to people. This is actually on a piece of the property that we live on, and we're very gracious to have it. It provides us with a lot of things, provides us with a lot of wildlife, things like that. And I understand that some people, they they may not understand why we're so passionate about what we're doing, and why we want to keep this way. But um that's up to each individual person. Each individual person is inclined to their own opinions. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching. I can't really see the numbers, but I appreciate all the love and all the support, of everybody that watches these videos, whether they're, you're tuning in while they're live or you're tuning in after the fact. I really do appreciate it. um the uh the land use meeting today, the land use meeting, to be honest with you, I'm glad that this county is going in the right direction, and I'm glad that the commissioners is starting to take a stand against these developers. These developers, to be honest with you, they're getting out of control. I actually had a really good conversation with somebody from Pat Neal's organization today. I talked to him because I actually came up there and I said, no, there's a clerical error on this. And they kind of challenged me a little bit, said, no, you're wrong. And I wasn't wrong. I actually got clarification on that. And we're going to jump into that topic as well. But let's kind of start from the beginning. So, um, Phelps is the new commissioner for District 1. I've had some really good conversations with her, and I think she honestly is a good fit for the spot. I'm gonna say that first and foremost. Um, the other thing I kind of want to say is, it's nice to see other people jumping on the bandwagon as far as Bearden. Bearden seems to be changing his tune a little bit, and so does McCann. McCann seems to pretty much vote like Phelps does, and so that makes it a 4-3. Um, you know, my personal thing that I would like to say is I think, until some things are brought to light and until some things are said, which unfortunately, they're going to be uncomfortable conversations, and I hope that the county, when I meet with the commissioners, they can have that conversation and they can be adults about it, and they can make informed decisions based off of the information that is provided to them. Because a lot of the statements that I hear, and I've addressed this before and I'll address it again. um well, we're not experts is what they say. Well, we're not asking any of the commissioners to be experts, but myself, I have a background in stormwater and land development. I was working in that industry, both in the private and public sector. Um, that's kind of like what we are for. And the fact of the matter is we don't expect all of the commissioners to know all things. But the thing that I'm going to say pisses me off is that when you make comments in a public forum, or you tell your secretaries to make comments that say the quote, "We don't want to speak for other districts." Well, you have no problem sitting up there on that dais and making votes for District 1, which is the district I live in. With that being said, I have a problem with it, and I've been voicing my problem with it. I've started voicing my problem with what's going on in the northeast of the district, as far as some new communities that's fixing to go in out there. And I've also got some problems with some stuff right in my own backyard. But with that being said, sorry, I'm coming back. Where are you from, bro? I'm from, currently standing right now in Manatee County, Florida. That's where we're talking about. Anyway, so the some of the stuff that's going on right here real close to us, it's got a profound impact on things that are going to happen. And that was actually the Neil developer I was talking to. You know, they talk a good game, and I'm want to entertain what they have to say. They want to do a private one-on-one workshop with all the people of the community, which I think that's going to be a good forum. They're willing to acquiesce to some of the questions and concerns that I have, and they're willing to put on a public horse and pony show, and I gladly welcome it. And that's something I want to get out to the people. And I really wish more people would watch my videos and engage in my videos. And I appreciate everybody. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that's just popping in and out, commenting on my video and stuff and bumping it up the algorithm. Um, y- you know, back to that developer. The thing is, man, I called him out on a lot of the things that I didn't like about the Zoom meeting, and about some other things that was going on. And I told him, I said, these are a lot of inconsistencies. And I said, y'all are really gonna cause a lot of damage to this community, I think. But I said, I'll give you credit where credit's due. Manatee County was right. None of the Neil communities flooded out. Um, Nor did they really flood out any other communities. Is more other builders that just weren't up to snuff, which I think is another problem, but we're going to get to that here in a minute. Um, a lot of the issues that I'm trying to highlight on this channel, to be honest with you, is just that there's a quality issue, and there's an issue in Manatee County where they don't particularly like to understand that people can pay attention to what's going on. And I know for a fact that the developer of the Salt Meadows property, which is just to my left here, not too far, they played a pretty considerable role in flooding out a lot of nearby people, and it caused thousands and thousands of dollars of damage. Some houses is probably 2, 3, 4 feet underwater. And first they wanted to say, well, there's no effect from the dam, and then they want to say this, that, and the other. Well, I'll play your game. I'll have a meeting with you guys, and I'll see what you have to say, and then I'm gonna make my own assumptions, and I'm gonna do what I'm doing now. I'm gonna go make a video about it. And they're starting to know my name, and they're starting to know my face, and they're starting to know what I'm about. I didn't stay for the whole meeting today. I stayed for a majority of it, but I started getting hassled a little bit. I'm not going to get into that, but corn feeders going off for the hogs. Um, and the fact of the matter is, guys, is um, uh, it's a lot. It is a lot to deal with. It's a lot to handle. It's a lot to cope with. Um, talking to different people, it's overwhelming. And the thing that I'm trying to get people to understand is that, yes, I understand that it's overwhelming, and I understand. Thank you for you two that's hanging in there. I appreciate it. Um, the thing that I'm trying to tell people is that, yes, I understand it's overwhelming. And yes, I understand there's a lot of red tape to cut through. Yes, I understand that, it seems like a lost cause. Seems like, you're never going to win. There's always another obstacle in your way. That's very true. But if you don't stand here and you don't say, I'm not going to take this, like, I'm going to take this as far as I can take it, and I'm going to do everything to get as many people involved as I can, and I'm going to keep fighting the good fight until I get a win. It only takes one win for people to start noticing what you got going on, and then everybody else wants to join the Cool Kids Club and join on the bandwagon. There's been, and I've addressed this before the board, and I'll say my comments openly to anybody and everybody that wants to listen. You know, there's a mentality of this board that they would like to not say anything. They would like to keep behind closed doors. They would like to supposedly do what's in the best interest of the constituents of the county, and they would like to cause as little litigation problems as possible. Well, I got news for you. The county gets sued every day. You're not going to get out of not paying people money. You're not going to get out of not getting sued. It's just not going to happen. The other thing, man, and I'm just going to be honest, is if you walk around scared that you're going to get hurt or you're going to get sued every day, then ain't nothing going to get done. There ain't going to be no fixed problems in Manatee County. It's not going to happen. The other thing I want to say is that the the stormwater problems of Manatee County, a lot of them's Manatee County's fault. Though Manatee County doesn't want to accept responsibility for those problems, it's Manatee County's fault. Okay, they're negligent in the fact that they have not maintained a lot of this stuff in years. They have not maintained what they are obligated to maintain. And I'm gonna clue you in on something that in general life you go by. Oh, cool, cool name, whatever. These canals and stuff mean something. When something's called a canal, it's engineered. Okay, it's not a man. It's man made. It's not natural. Okay, so like Fry Canal is man made. Manatee County put that in here. Manatee County dug that to a certain standard. It's Manatee County's obligation to keep Fry Canal up to that engineering standard that they originally put it to, and change it as it goes along. You know, Gamble, on the other hand, that is a natural system, and there's nothing that we can do about that. It is what it is, and it's gonna do what it's gonna do, and that's their purview on it. But when you sit here and I call you on the phone and you tell me that there's not a blockage in Gamble Creek, I've got pictures that prove otherwise. I can see stuff right off the side of the road that proves otherwise, and it's in the natural flow. It's not in flood flow, because that's what they always try and say. They always try and say, well, it's not in the natural flow. It's in the flood flow, so we can't touch it. This is in the natural flow. There's water sitting in there. There's water flowing through there, and it's blocking flow. Point blank. Period. You had so many issues with all the problems of Debbie that you had to do an emergency scaling repair on Golf Course Road's bridge that goes over the top of Gamble Creek. And you didn't want them to dig it out, but when they told you that it's really hard to get in there and put all these improvements and the Mirify paper and the riprap and all that stuff in there, you let them do it. And that's what you should have been doing in the first place. There is so much sedimentation blockages in that little creek that it ain't even funny. There are spots in Gamble Creek that should be probably 5 feet deep in some parts, that's 2 inches deep, because all the sides of Gamble Creek washed out. And where did it go? And went into the bottom because there was too much flow. Look back at some of my older videos when I first started making videos and I was getting a lot of traction, guys. We were talking about over 2 million gallons a minute going through Gamble Creek during Tropical Storm Debbie. All right. And when I contact government organizations, I don't know. Um, when I talk to government organizations and I say, look, I've looked at the numbers and these are the same incidents. They're just essentially 20 years apart, 21 years apart. The only thing that's really changed between now and then is the lack of maintenance and, quite frankly, um, overdevelopment. That's the two issues that you're dealing with. And when you talk about the overdevelopment issue and the erosion issue and how the land's changed and how things are outdated, it's a complicated issue, guys. To not get into all of it, it's a complicated issue. But trying to get it through these dang commissioners' heads that they just want to sit there and they want to collect their $100,000 a year, and they want to serve their 2 terms out so that way they can get vested and they can sit back and collect that paycheck. Especially when they're a development back candidate, they're not interested in talking with you about development and why development's bad. They're just not interested in it. They're not. But you have to, all that's to say that you have to play the game. You have to essentially do things the way that they want you to do them, and to do things in such a way that it rigs the system in your favor. Um, I'm not saying you have to do anything dirty. I'm not saying you have to do anything that is unethical. I'm not saying you have to do anything that particularly is wrong or immoral. Okay? I'm going to make that clear. But you have to put the right pieces in the right places in order to make this stuff work, guys. You just have to. There's no other way to do it. You have to put the right pegs in the right slots. Now we have a 3 to 4. Next, we need one more person. Thank you. I appreciate it. Please give a like and subscribe to my channel. It helps me out for free. I'd really appreciate it. Um, you know, now we just need a 4th person. And if after having the conversation that I'm fixing to have, and I'm not going to call them out, and I'm not going to say anything ill-mannered yet because I haven't had a face-to-face conversation with them. I've had limited discussion with them. But after I have these next 2 meetings, it's really going to set a tone and a precedence for how I deal with Manatee County and the Board of County Commissioners. I'm going to know everything I need to know after these next 2 meetings. And I hope you guys watch this, to be honest with you. I hope this gets sent to the Board of County Commissioners, and I hope they watch this video, and I hope that they take what I'm about to say wholeheartedly. And I do not mean that in a bad way. You are put up there to be thank you so much. I appreciate it. You are put up there to serve the constituents of Manatee County. You are elected every 4 years, and you are put up there to be the voice of voices. Okay? You're put up there to serve in the best interest of your district of Manatee County. Now, I don't much pay attention to politics, and to be honest with you, I could give a damn less about politics well before all this stuff ever happened. So I don't know if there's other districts like other counties like this, but I'm gonna explain how our county works for the general public to know. This is how it works. Every 4 years, alternating 2 years at a time, there's an election for commissioners of this board. Okay, this board, you're supposed to put people in there that reflect your values as the general population. So in other words, you like a certain candidate, you've talked to them, you've had correspondence with them, whatever the case is, you like the way they look, whatever. I don't really care, but you're supposed to kind of get to know them. Okay. You put them on the ballot and then you vote for them, the candidate that you like, and then they get elected. And then what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to learn their job within the first couple of months, and then they're supposed to delegate based off of what their job is, which is to be the voice of the people that elected them up there and put them in the place that they are, and to do what we want them to do. It's not, see, this is what aggravates me about government. There's too much red tape with all this stuff. Um and I think we're focused now on um well, this was a thing before this board and this and that. Well, I got news for you. You can change it now. You can set the next board up in such a position that they ain't got to have these discussions next time. But y'all don't seem to do that. Y'all seem to sit up there and bicker and argue and fight and fuss and carry on, and you don't get anything done. You just vote against each other, and then whatever happens, happens. Oh, 4-3, it passed. And we're right back in the same dang boat that we was. And, you know, honestly, I said it a little bit different the last time, but I'm going to say it like this time. Okay, maybe a temporary moratorium is not the answer. I'll agree with you on that. But there has to be some sort of pause on all this development. There has to be some sort of mechanism in place that puts things at a standstill until certain things can get done. And there's a lot of private work out there, especially right now after all the hurricanes. And a good managed business should be able to thrive by itself without the government's tit in its mouth. Okay. So, with all that being said, every business that I've worked for, figure out what's going on. All right, I'm back. So they've got steady work. You know, if they can't get no work for a little while, they should be thinking ahead. And if their management is so piss poor that they can't have work scheduled out for a couple months at a time, you're not built for the job, to be honest. I'm just being honest. You know, let's get down to facts here. If the local economy is that damn based and driven off of building homes, then you're in the wrong business. You're not in the business of running a county. You're in the business of development. You're in the business of real estate. You know, you're put up there to do what we ask you to do. We don't want no more building in District 1. That's what we want in District 1. We don't want no more building right now. We want everything to kind of equal out. We need the flooding problem figured out, which there's still a whole bunch of conversations to be had there, and I'm continuously having conversations. And I'll go over here and knock a dang tree down and see what happens, and I'll go over there and knock a tree down and see what happens, and you wander way off and rummage in the leaf pile to see if there's a booger in there. Whatever. I'd go all over, man. I make all sorts of different calls and mix the pot and see what happens. Just trying to get different answers out of different people and find out different things, guys. And I don't get paid to do it. I don't make no money off this. Um, Hell, I ain't even got enough subscribers to make any money off of it. And to be honest with you, making these videos and stuff is a pretty big hindrance in order to get some answers with the stuff that I have going on and the people I call. They don't want to deal with me in fear of, being the next scandal, which that kind of tells me something right there. But anyway, you know, the whole point of this channel is to educate the public, to make sure that we're not forgotten here in District 1, to make sure that in District 1 we have a voice and we have a common person that we can go to and we can say, hey, this is what's going on. Can you cover it? The media won't come out. That's where I come in, guys. That's where I want to come in. That's where I want to help and give back to Manatee County District 1 and all of Manatee County, to be honest with you. I'll go to any county. I don't really care. It ain't got to be just Manatee County, but that's where I'm focusing because that's where all my issues are right now. And I'm not big enough to cover multiple places at once. You know, and I'm a busy person outside of work and everything. Like, I'm a busy guy. Um, but back onto the subject, y'all are put up there to do what we ask you to do, and you're not doing it. Um, yeah, I don't know if it's just because, and I do know actually, but I don't know if it's just because you're the ones that are voting everything through. I don't know if it's just because you're development backed, or if it's you know it's just this, like they were saying today in the meeting. It's just a vote. It's just a plan. It's just a plat. It's just I mean you're making it out to be nothing when it's something. And they're writing off a lot of the flooding issues. Saying it's record level and blah blah blah, whatever. We'll see how that attitude changes after I have these meetings next week. But um, I think the land use meeting, boiling everything down, and I know I'm kind of all over the place, went in a pretty good direction, and I think it spirited a lot of good conversation, and I think there's a lot of good things covered, and although it is 6 hours, I would highly suggest that you guys watch and pick through for the parts that I said something, and we'll go from there. You know, there's a lot of emotions and a lot of feelings that's going around, in a lot of different directions and a lot of different people, and to be honest with you, it's really tiring. It's really tiring doing these videos, um, and feeling like you're the little guy and like you're not important. And it's really tiring to keep beating a dead horse over and over again. Um, that's really all I have to say, guys. I've kind of talked myself out today because I was pretty high energy at the beginning of the day, but that 6 hour, 7 hour meeting just dragged and dragged and dragged. But we'll see what happens. We'll see if I get any more correspondence from the county and from the other organizations I've called, and I'm gonna keep making phone calls, and I'm gonna keep stirring the pot and seeing what happens. So hopefully everything turns out for the best, and hopefully everything kind of makes its rounds and everything works out for the best. But I'd really appreciate it if you guys would like, subscribe, and comment to this video. And it's free. It don't cost you a thing. If not, that's fine too. Um, all I'm asking for, guys, is a chance to be the voice of the voiceless in Manatee County. I'll say this as a parting gift. I've talked to a lot of people, especially recently, that they said I've been fighting for X, Y, and Z for going on 20 years or going on 10 years or going on 12 or whatever the case is. And they said I've never been no closer than you are now. You know, I've been fighting and fighting and fighting, and you've gotten closer than I've ever got. Yeah, it kind of makes you think for a minute, and it kind of makes you say, well, man, that's kind of nice. You know, it means I'm getting something done. I'm pushing buttons the right way, I guess. And it makes you want to keep fighting, but then at the same time, you get so aggravated with this stuff that it just makes you not want to do it anymore. You know, I'm taking. I guess this is